Hey, good. Welcome everyone. And I'm Ron Brown. And this is Huey Popluck, right? And
Hi, I'm
we're here
here.
today doing learning Chromebooks. It's May the 25th. Want to thank everybody for coming. If you're watching this as a YouTube replay, thanks so much. If you're here live, thank you for coming because we do appreciate it. We've been doing this, Huey, this is our third year. I think
Something like that. We got to
I
go
think this
back
is
and
we're into
check
our
on that.
third
Yeah.
year now that we've been doing this. We do this as a monthly one seminar, and of course it is free. We don't charge, but you do have to register. So if you are interested in having friends come, you know some people that you want to come, you can look at our website www.techforsenior.com, and you'll find the registration there. Or you can subscribe to our newsletter. That certainly is, we advertise that in each newsletter that we have. So Huey and I put this on each month. And what we do is we try to choose articles and interest and things that would be interesting for you. We do realize that there's a mix of people in the audience today, people who are very experienced users and maybe some people that are new with their Chromebooks. So we're always balancing, trying to find interesting things that you'll be interested in and that we can sort of fit the needs for everybody. So you might have to be patient. Some of the things that we might talk about today you've seen before, and other things might be new to you. So we do create these in video format, and we record them and then send them out to you so you can watch this again. If you're registered, well, you have to be registered to come into the show, and we'll be sending that later on today or early tomorrow out to you, and that will of course have a recording of this so you can sit back and relax. You don't have to take notes, right, Huey? You don't have to get a pen and paper and take notes
Yep.
because we're recording this, and I even see the little record button out there, so I know that we hit it. So we are recording this, and we'll be sending this out to you, as well as all the recordings for all our Learning Chromebook series are all on our Tech for Seniors site. So there you go. Huey, any comments or questions do you want to get before we get going? We have let everyone know.
Okay.
We have two sessions for you today. Huey has prepared a video, and we're going to do Huey's first, and then I prepared a video for everyone. So again, we have two videos. So we're going to have we want to get on with it and get going because we want to leave a little time at the end for talking and so on and so forth. Do you have any?
I want to try something. Yeah, it works. We can have two spotlights.
Oh, really?
And so I just added me as a spotlight, so both of us are spotlighted.
Perfect. There you go. All right. That's cool. I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah, I didn't either. I just saw that.
There you go.
No, I wonder what happens if I press it, but I didn't want to do it without warning you first in case
you might just sort of all go away.
Anyway,
right?
yeah, we've been playing with a lot of things, and I've been into this AI stuff really heavy. And so my session today is going to be on AI on a Chromebook.
On a Chromebook, great. Let everyone know that I will be taking next month off, so I will not be here in June. Family commitments, and so Huey is going to do the show. I think Bob's going to give him a hand, and Joel are going to give him a hand for the show next month. So that will be that'll be fun. But I'll catch up with everybody hopefully the following month.
It's going to be difficult without you, Ron.
I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. All right. Huey, do you want to share your screen and take it away then for your segment?
Yeah, what I want to do before I started is that almost all of this video was done with AI, was created with AI, except the voice over the first section because it was difficult. I was having problems recording a recording and then putting the audio on top of it. So other than that, everything else was done via AI. So let's go ahead and let's see, share my screen. Why use AI on a Chromebook? I'm Huey Poplock. There are many reasons why you might want to use AI on a Chromebook. Here are a few. AI can help you be more productive. AI-powered tools can help you with tasks like writing, research, and organizing. For example, AI can find you the right information for your research, generate ideas for your writing, and organize your thoughts. AI can help you learn new things. AI can be used to create interactive learning experiences that are more engaging and effective than traditional methods. For example, AI can be used to create personalized learning plans, provide feedback on your work, and answer your questions. AI can help you be more creative. AI can be used to generate new ideas and solutions to problems. For example, AI can be used to help you write music, design products, and create marketing campaigns. AI can help you have more fun. AI can be used to create games, apps, and other experiences that are more engaging and more entertaining than traditional ones. For example, AI can be used to create games that adapt to your skill level, apps that can help you learn new things, and experiences that are personalized to your interests. Overall, AI can be a powerful tool that can help you in many ways. If you're looking for a way to be more productive, learn new things, be more creative, or have more fun, then you should consider using AI on your Chromebook. Here are some specific examples of AI-powered apps and tools that you can use on a Chromebook. Google Assistant. Google Assistant is a virtual assistant that can help you with tasks like setting alarms, getting directions, and finding information. You can use Google Assistant to control your Chromebook hands-free, which can be helpful if you're working on a project or a presentation. Grammarly. Grammarly is an AI-powered grammar checker that can help you improve your writing. Grammarly can identify grammar errors, spelling mistakes, and style issues in your writing. Canva. Canva is a design tool that can help you create professional-looking graphics, presentations, and other content. Canva uses AI to help you choose the right colors, fonts, and layouts for your projects. Google Translate. Google Translate is a translation tool that can help you translate text and speech between over 100 languages. Google Translate uses AI to provide more accurate and natural-sounding translations. Duolingo. Duolingo is a language learning app that uses AI to help you learn new languages. Duolingo adapts to your learning style and provides personalized feedback to help you improve your skills. These are just a few of the examples of many AI-powered apps and tools that are available for Chromebooks. If you're looking for ways to use AI to improve your productivity, learning, creativity, or entertainment, then you should explore the many options that are available. Let's do that. Here are some ways to use artificial intelligence on a Chromebook.
I'm going to show you several AI apps and how I use them on my Chromebook, and you'll see it works just the same as if I was doing it on my Windows PC. So I don't have a lot of extra horsepower in my Chromebook. I only have 4 gigabytes of RAM, and I do have a little bit larger storage. I have 128 gigabytes, but you don't need that. So 4 gigabytes on a Chromebook is adequate to do what I'm going to be doing using AI, because most of it's in the cloud anyway. The horsepower is coming from the AI service that you're using and not from your computer. So let's take a look at Bard, which is Google's AI. And the best thing to do would be to come up here and go to bard.google.com. You can make a shortcut. You can make it easier to get to, but this is the way I'm going to show you how we get to it here. Now, we need to give it a prompt. What is a prompt? A prompt is how you ask the AI service, whatever you're using, how you ask it to give you what you're looking for. And the more descriptive you can be, especially when you're doing text to image, and I'll show you that in just a bit, but when you're doing finding information, having it write something for you, you want to make sure that you ask the question that you're looking for. The nice thing about AI is you can keep adding to it. You don't have to keep asking the same question over and changing the words. You can just continue to ask it because it's a conversation. So let's ask it, how do I get a screen capture on a Chromebook? Now you'll notice that I did capitalize Chromebook. You don't need to do that. You don't need to put a question mark on the end. You don't have to use the uppercase I. You can do it all in lowercase. It doesn't care. And when you click on the submit button, which is over here, if you just click the enter, it will take you to the next line. So you want to come over and hit the submit button. As soon as you do, it looks at what you asked it. You ask it the question, it shows you the question, and then it gives you the answer. Now, we're not doing a lesson on how to do this. We're only showing you how you can find out how to do something using Bard or another AI app. And in this case, it gives us an answer, and it just gives us the answer that we need. Let's try one more. This time we'll use AI.com, which is OpenGPT. We'll log in. And continue. And we'll click done, and now we're in the ChatGPT. Now I'm going to ask the same question. And again, I have to hit the submit button. If I hit enter, it will take me to the next line. So we'll go ahead and hit the submit button. And it gives us something quite similar to what we had in Bard, a little more detail and a little bit more organized, but it does a nice job of it. You can regenerate the response. You can do it over again in ChatGPT. But what if we were using the same information and we were going to look at it? This time we're going to come out and we're going to go to Google, and we're going to tell Google, ask it the same question. And you can see the difference in using the AI as opposed to your search engine. Now, the search engine does give you a few things, but when you click on it, it's going to take you to a website. And you can, as you scroll down, you're going to see more websites and videos. Some of these may be accurate and some not. Some may be very old, some may be newer. It gives you a lot more information, but it isn't as concise. The information may be more complete as an AI answer as it is to a search if you're not hitting the right words in the search. Let's do one more ChatGPT just to give you an idea that it can do more things than just tell you how to do things on your Chromebook. Okay, I want to wish my neighbor a happy birthday in the form of a poem. And I just click, and it wants a little more information. Okay, let's say, so notice I don't have to repeat anything. It's a conversation I'm having with AI, and I click, and so here's my poem. In the realm of roaring steel with freedom as its guide, a neighbor named John on a Harley does he ride. As his birthday dawns, let's celebrate his way with a heartfelt poem to brighten his special day. Oh, John, a biker true, with the wind in your hair, on your trusty Harley, you're a sight beyond compare, and so on as you can read down. I'll let you read that by yourself so you don't have to listen to me, but you get the idea that it does a really nice job putting together a poem, something I couldn't create, but it certainly personalizes a happy birthday to my next door neighbor, John. Using AI on a Chromebook is the same as doing it on my PC. Since I share my Chrome browser and all of the bookmarks between them, I see the same bookmarks on my Chromebook as I do on my PC. I do have a folder on my bookmarks called AI, and you will see that all of these are AI apps and locations that I have tried when I read through my 15 different AI newsletters every day, find new things to check out. You will see there's a lot of them. I did want to show you an add-on or an extension for Chrome that I had to pay for, but it was on sale. It's going to be $20 when it was going to be released. I bought a pre-release for $9. That's not $9 a month, that's the cost of the extension. So let's take a look at what it does. We're going to go to techforsenior.com, and it's our homepage and our website. Now this add-on is called Browse GPT. I click on it, then it wants the OpenAI code that I need. And once I've entered the API code, I can ask it. I can either ask a question or I can summarize. And so what we're going to do is tell it to summarize the page. This page provides technology information for seniors. It includes links to join Tech for Senior live streaming on Facebook, watch past episodes, and contact information. It also includes links to APCUG presentations, my Chromebook videos, Bob Gusticia's security information, and Huey Poplock's website. Finally, it mentions Ray Baxter's music, listening club using Zoom with narration. It didn't mention poor Ron. Ron, I'm sorry. That's what I can do with any website using this AI extension. The AI that I'm having the most fun with is text to image. Now, I want to show you one example of that, and I use a program called Night Cafe, and we'll find that in our AI dropdown, Night Cafe Creator. This is a free program, kind of. It works on credits, and you can build up free credits. If you feel you need more, you can buy or purchase credits. I click on a choice, so I am going to have to give it a prompt. I'm going to be doing a video on prompts, so we're not going to get into any detail on how to do this, but let's go ahead and just pick one out of the air. We're going to say, okay, this is one I have never tried before, but a busy city street during a rainstorm. And we tell it to create. Let's see what it comes up with. It's working in the background. I did not cut forward. That's how long it took to come up. And we've got 4 pictures. We can look at the 4 pictures either as the 4, or we can come up with each one separately. And we've got a nice picture to use. If we didn't like those, we could try again. We could change the prompt a little bit, add some things to it. That's a whole nother session. We're not going to get into prompts, but what I wanted to show you is text to image. Very well done, very easy to do in AI, but also you can do it on your Chromebook. So this is Night Cafe. This next AI app that I want to show you is one I just recently found, and I've been using it a little bit, and I want to show you some examples. I'm not going to teach you or show you how to use it. I'm just going to show you what the result was. But if I move all the way down, it's at the bottom of this list, almost to the bottom, and we'll go to it. It's called Hey Jen. Once I'm signed in, you'll see that it shows that I have 3 items here. One was just a test one that they had. Then I've added 2 more. It takes text, adds it to an avatar that I choose and a voice that I choose. I put in the text that I want that person to say, and this is the type of thing I get.
Greetings. You are invited to join the STUG and CFCS Windows SIG, a monthly Zoom meeting, held on the second Sunday of every month. This event is hosted by Huey Poplock and welcomes participants from the Central Florida Computer Society, Sarasota Technology User Group, as well as other user groups.
As you can see, the lips are moving in sync to what it's saying. It's a voice that I have chosen. I could have a choice of several different male voices. I could even put a female voice on there if I wanted. Let's take a look at one other one that I used and just briefly watch a few seconds of it.
Join our captivating Zoom meeting and embark on an exhilarating journey into the fascinating world of artificial intelligence, AI. Whether you're a curious beginner or an enthusiast seeking to expand your knowledge, this discussion group is the perfect gateway to explore the realms of AI.
So you can see that creating a video using AI can also be done on a Chromebook and played on a Chromebook. So the limits of using a Chromebook aren't there. You can use AI in all of the different aspects and all of the different items that are out there. I have not found one yet that doesn't work. I'm sure there are some, but for the most part, AI can be run and used on a Chromebook without much problem on almost all of the Chromebooks.
Why use AI on a Chromebook? I'm Huey Poplock. There you go.
Very interesting. I have some ideas for Tech for Senior. So you got my mind working, Huey. Good one.
That's the whole
All right.
idea.
Yeah, this is gonna be a good one. All right, let's move on. I know that there may be some questions, but hopefully we'll have some time at the end to answer the questions. We'll move on with my video. One of the best features about using a Chromebook is the ability to access Google's Play Store. You can actually access the store and use the apps you use on your phone all on your Chromebook. A great feature. So it wasn't always that way. Let's look back at the origins of the Chromebook. In the very early stages, we had the Chrome Web Store, and this is where we got our extensions and our apps for our Chromebook. It wasn't until about 4 or 5 years later when the big announcement came. We were going to have access to the Play Store. So all those great apps we had on our phone would be available on our Chromebook. This was a big deal, and I was pretty excited when this occurred. If you're new to your Chromebook, I'm going to show you in a minute just how this works on your Chromebook. So if you're a bit confused, don't worry, we're going to go over this. But I wanted just to explain again, when these apps from the Play Store were available, it was a bit confusing because all of a sudden we were downloading all these apps that we had on our phone onto our Chromebook. Well, sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't work so well. Sometimes when you opened an app up for you that was on your cell phone and you wanted to use it on your Chromebook, it wouldn't resize. In other words, the size of the image on your Chromebook would be the same small size as it was on your phone, even though you had a large screen, because the developers hadn't resized these. They never expected to have their product available on a big screen. It was always going to be a small screen, which was a phone. So there was a lot of confusion early on that that some of the apps worked and some of them didn't. So we went through a period of time with Chromebooks where we had two sources. We had, of course, the Chrome Web Store, where we got the apps that were specifically designed for Chromebooks. And then we had the Play Store, where we were able to get all those apps that we used on our phone. So as I guess Google's matured, Chromebooks have matured, everything's got better. What you find now on the Play Store is only apps that will work on your Chromebook. Let me explain this because this is a little bit confusing. You may go to your phone and say, this is a great app. I want to use it on my Chromebook. You then go to the Play Store, and when you search on the Play Store, you don't find that app. In other words, because you're logging on with your Chromebook and the app is not supported on a Chromebook, you don't see it. So that is confusing to a lot of people because they wonder where the heck that app is, but you just won't see that. A good example of this is the Zoom Progressive Web app. There are a lot of apps available for Zoom, but only one, which is the Progressive Web app, works on your Chromebook. And that is the only one you'll find if you look on your Chromebook. Under Play Store, you'll only see the one app now. It used to be you'd see a lot of different apps for Zoom, but only one now. So at present, we have two sources. We have your web store, which I'll show you in a moment, and then we have the Play Store. Now, this is all going to change, as I mentioned in prior videos. Over the next 2 years, you're going to be phasing out of the Chrome Web Store. In other words, we're moving now to what we call progressive web apps. So you'll be able to find progressive web apps, such as the one we use for Microsoft, at the Microsoft website. In other words, you won't actually have to go and look for them on the Chrome Web Store. And that will make the web store go away. In fact, we will be moving pretty much totally to progressive web apps for your Chromebook. And these will be found on specific sites that you go to, and you'll just be able to download and install those on your Chromebook. The other thing that's interesting to know is that Chrome itself, which is embedded in the Chrome OS, will be leaving, and it will be a progressive web app as well. You'll still have access to the Play Store and be able to get apps that you use on your phone down into your Chromebook through the Play Store. Why is this such a good thing? And let me give you an example, and I'll show you this on the computer in a minute. Let's take Snapseed. Snapseed is a photo editor, and it's a great editor for photography. You can do all sorts of things with that. Well, it only is an Android app on your phone. And so I don't really like editing pictures on my phone, but the great thing about it is you can download and use that on your Chromebook. And it even integrates into Google Photos. So now you can do your editing on a big screen. You have to have a Chromebook to have that happen, though. Let me show you on the computer a few things and how this works. All right, we're now on my Chromebook, and you'll see my cursor here. The first thing I want to show you is where to find the Chrome Web Store. Now, this is in your app section. We're going to come down to the bottom here on the left-hand side. This is the launcher button. This is, of course, on your Chromebook called your shelf. So let me come over to the launcher. Let's click the launcher. Now, I don't use the Chrome Web Store very often, so I don't have it pinned to my shelf. You could certainly do that if you want. So we're going to find it, and I purposely want to come down here. And here we have the Web Store. This is called, and you will have this on your Chromebook, and it will be in the app section, and you can find that through the launcher. You will all have this on your computer, on your Chromebook. If we click this now, this will take us right to the Chrome Web Store, and now you'll be able to see extensions that you can get, themes that you can download, and apps that you can get. So, and again, I'm not going to go through all of these, but this is called the Chrome Web Store. And this is the original one that we had when Chromebooks first came out, which is ultimately going to go away as all these will be available as a progressive web app. All right, let's go back. I'm going to close out of this now. And what I want to do is come back down to the launcher. Again, we're going to open up our app section again, and we're going to come down and we're going to see the Play Store. We'll just come down here. And of course, here we have the Play Store. Now, this is a very common icon that you have. You'll have this on your smartphone, and this is the Google Play Store, which we discussed earlier. Let's click this. And this is a very familiar tune. And as we come down for Zoom now, you'll see, of course, as we come down, you'll see that the only one you will see is Zoom for Chrome, and this is a PWA. All right. And this is because the other Zoom apps that you would see on your Android phone are not seen here because they won't work on a Chromebook. So this is why this is the only one is displayed on your Chromebook. If you go to your cell phone and you look on the Play Store, you'll see more apps. Okay, let's come back to the Play Store again, and you'll see I brought it up, and here's the Play Store icon. I'm going to search Snapseed, and here you'll see that Snapseed is there. You'll see that it's installed on my Chromebook, and in fact, I need to update it. Let's update it. All right, now the update is finished. So remember now, this is a app that is in the Play Store, and it is for your smartphone. It is, of course, available for iOS and Android. Today we're going to look at the Android Play Store, which we're in, and this would normally be run on your cell phone, but I don't like to edit my pictures on a small screen. So one of the huge advantages of a Chromebook is we can now use this Android app on a large screen. So let's open this and see how it works. We're going to open the app. We're going to click on this to bring up our photographs, and let's just choose this photograph here. And here is it, and you can edit this now. But remember, I'm doing this now with a mouse. I'm doing it on a large screen, and I have all the features available for editing, period. This is a huge advantage for photo editing and works very well with Google Photos. So in summary, the ability to use Android apps from the Play Store on a Chromebook is a big feature of using a Chromebook. Virtual desktops, a unique way to get more productivity out of your Chromebook. Let me show you how this works. So we're now on my Chromebook, and you'll see my mouse here. I'm going to show you 2 virtual desktops I have made, and then we are going to make a 3rd virtual desktop. So as you'll see, my screen is blank. We have nothing loaded. I'm going to hit the overview key, and we're now going to come up and see that I have 2 desktops, virtual desktops that I've made. Now, let me just explain that these can be used for different purposes. The first one is I edit a newsletter that we have twice a week, and this is done through MailChimp. So rather than reloading the information each week, I have a virtual desktop. Watch what happens now when I click this. This now brings up 2 things that I always do. Of course, I'm on Google News, and I go through the news feed. So for our Saturday newsletter, I'm looking for news articles that might be pertinent to topics of the week. So I like to scroll down and look at the news articles that Google News has. Now I have this as a window that's set for half the screen. If we come over here to MailChimp, which is our news editor, you'll see that it is here, and I can work in MailChimp going back and forth. Now, it took me a little while to set up both these screens and to make sure that they are formatted correctly. So this is now saved as a virtual desktop. So let's go back. I'm going to hit the overview button again, and I'm going to come back now, and let's choose a different option. Well, I also manage our donation site, so I often want to check our email and donation site. So this is called Ko-fi, K-O-F-I. Let's click this. And now this brings up a little bit different. I have here, of course, my Gmail account, and then, of course, I come over here, and I have both apps. This is our Ko-fi account. So I have both our accounts here, and I can work on those. I could have multiple tabs open. Again, if I want to go back and say, gee, I want to put something more in that newsletter, I can just hit the overview button, come back, double click it again, and it's open, and I'm back with the 2 tabs side by side, the 2 applications side by side. So let's have a look and see how we might set one up. Again, I'm going to hit the overview button and let's set up a new one. Let's click desktop number 4. All right, let me show you using Google Photos and Snapseed. So now we're not doing work with Tech for Senior. I'm going to be editing some stuff in Google Photos with Snapseed. That's a personal use, so something different. So I want to set this up as a virtual desktop. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is open the Google Photos app, which is here, right? Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to minimize this, and then I'm going to drag it over to the left and snap it in so it now fills half the screen, okay? Now we're going to come over now to the right, and we're going to open Snapseed. We'll come down here and find Snapseed. Here it is. And we're going to open this. It actually fills the other half of the screen now. So now I have Google Photos on one half, and I have Snapseed on the other half to edit my pictures. So both these apps fill the screen and we've set them up. So I'm going to come back, and again, we're going to hit the overview key, and you'll see both our apps are open here. And I'm going to say save desktop for later. We're going to click this, and instead of calling it Desk 4, I'm going to call it Photos. And we're going to save this for later. Now, let's go back to our newsletter. Again, this is our virtual desktop with all the information. This is the information for our newsletter showing Google News and MailChimp. We're then going to come back to our overview again. We're going to come and we'll look at our donations account, and we're coming over here. This is what I do for Tech for Senior, and you'll see our 2 apps that we have open. Then let's go back over to our overview button again. We'll look at save for later. Here's our photos. We're going to open this, and then we can click. And we have both our apps open, Google Photos and Snapseed, for editing. So this is a way that you can be very efficient with your desktop space as moving between virtual desktop to virtual desktop. You'll also have the ability to have 8 virtual desktop screens open. Just by hitting the overview key, as you can see, we can simply add a desktop, add another one, and we can go up to 8 desktops, as you'll see on the top here. These, of course, are all blank, but this is a very good way to be more efficient with your use on your Chromebook, and a very unique but underutilized feature of Chromebooks. Chromebooks often cost less money than PCs, and this is because they need less RAM and can have a smaller hard drive. Let's look at why this is so. In this diagram, let's look at 2 operating systems. First of all, let's look at Microsoft. You'll see this massive truck with all this horsepower having to pull this long chain of cars behind it. And this is basically what we're looking at with Windows. It's a big operating system with a huge legacy behind it, needing a lot of horsepower to run. This, of course, requires a big hard drive with lots of RAM. Let's look at the next operating system, which is the Mac operating system. Again, this is a big operating system with a lot of legacy, requiring a very fast processor, big hard drive, and RAM. Let's look at the Chrome operating system. In this diagram, you'll see this Mazda Miata. Small little car, snappy, fast engine, goes like stink. And that is the Chrome operating system. It's much smaller, requires less horsepower, and goes like heck. So that's the difference between Chrome OS, Windows, and Mac. So because of the smaller size, it requires less RAM and requires less hard drive space. Let's look at how it actually performs. Did you know that there actually is 2 copies of the Chrome operating system on your Chromebook. There's a primary copy and a secondary copy. 2 copies, yes. So what happens when you turn your Chromebook on, the primary copy loads up. Now the primary copy gets verified as it's loading up against a physical chip in your Chromebook called a TPM chip. Hold on. Didn't Microsoft just bring something out about a TPM chip with Windows 11? Finally, they're getting the hang of it. Chromebooks have had TPM chips since their inception. It is a hard-coded chip that the manufacturer must buy from Google, and it has the security code. So when the software starts up, the footprint of that software must match what's in that TPM chip for it to load. If it doesn't, it switches to the secondary copy. Because remember, there's 2 copies, and if the secondary copy doesn't make it, then it'll go out automatically and it will get a new copy for you. It will download it onto your Chromebook and reinstall a fresh new copy of the Chrome operating system. That whole process will probably take less than 3 minutes. Can you imagine trying to do that on Windows, to download a new version of Windows and install it? It'd take you hours. Anyway, that's what happens. Just let's look at that again. There's 2 copies of your Chrome operating system on your Chromebook. There's a primary copy and a secondary copy. Now it's the secondary copy that always gets updated because there's updates that are coming all the time. And it's that secondary copy that gets upgraded in the background. Never get a message saying that in the middle of a presentation, I want to upgrade your computer. No, it doesn't happen that way. It's always the secondary copy that gets upgraded. And then when you go to sleep or you turn your computer off, it switches the copies. So your secondary copy that is being updated now becomes your primary copy. So it switches them. Yep, that's how it works. And then it will load that secure primary copy for you as the operating system run on your Chromebook. All this takes place in a very small amount of space on your hard drive because the Chrome operating system is small, very efficient, and works very fast. The last thing I want to talk about that is quite different on your Chromebook or the Chrome operating system is the relationship between apps and programs that you would have had on your Windows machine. We all know that when you have a Windows machine and you install a program, there's a lot of files that get dumped into that operating system. You get DLL files, a lot of stuff. So think of a program on a Windows machine is like a tree. You plant the tree into the ground and those roots and tentacles grow, and that fits into the Windows operating system. The problem, of course, in that is that when you want to remove that tree, it's not so easy because it's such an integral part of the operating system. Well, on your Chromebook, that doesn't happen. In fact, all the apps on your Chromebook sit on the top of the operating system, and the operating system actually thinks they're hostile. There's actually a hostile relationship between the operating system and those apps, so that there's no way those apps have anything to do with the operating system. It's a very defined line. It's not like there's any parts of those apps that actually can penetrate into that operating system. And that's part of the security of the Chrome OS. A lot different than Windows machines. And then the next thing is the apps that sit on the surface of your Chrome operating system are sandboxed. Sandboxing, isn't that something Microsoft is just starting to do? Yep, but Chromebooks have always had that. In other words, sandboxing is where the app is kept in a box. In other words, it can't move any information from one app to another app. It strictly is sandboxed into its own app, and it cannot have any sort of activity with your operating system. And it keeps it totally secure. So all this makes your Chromebook extremely secure, able to run on a smaller, with smaller RAM and smaller hard drive, and ultimately cost less money. One of the big advantages of Chromebooks are that they're so secure. Let me ask you a question. If you had a PC laptop, would you lend it to someone to use? Would you leave it in the company staff room so that anyone coming in could use it? I don't think so. Most of us who do a lot of work with computers are very protective and are really concerned about security. Let's look at this diagram. You'll see that this is a company that has Chromebooks that you can pick up on the go. You simply put your files on there, you load it up, and you can use it for a presentation, and then you put it back. It's called grab and go. So what makes this so special on a Chromebook? Well, remember, this is a very small operating system on your Chromebook, and there's a button on there called Power Wash. Power Wash completely removes all the data in a very secure way, reinstalls the Chromebook operating system, and sets it up for the next person to come along that has to put their new login and password in. So you simply log in and put your password in, and you're back into your Google account, and all your data is there. And when you're finished with the machine, hit the Power Wash button, it's all gone, and the next person can use the machine. This is great for corporate users and is being used more and more as security becomes increasingly important with travel. The Power Wash feature on your Chromebook will erase any information on there, so you do have to back up your personal data. But remember, most of it's in the cloud, so you're just backing up really what's on your local hard drive. Once you've done that and you hit the Power Wash, it's like it's a brand new machine. Takes probably under 3 minutes to do, and there's no residual information there from the last user. Again, another reason that Chromebooks are so secure. So let's look at why Chromebooks require less storage and memory. You may be surprised when you purchased your Chromebook how little RAM memory and how little storage there was on your Chromebook. Let's look at the reasons why that is so. Well, the first is, of course, is the operating system is very efficient. It's a little itty-bitty operating system compared to the massive Windows 10 or 11 operating system required for a PC. But let's look at how much storage your machine actually has. So if you look at my Chromebook here, let's find out how much storage it has and what it's doing here. So we'll come down to the right. We're going to click on our menu here, and we're going to come up to settings. Let's click the settings. And what we're going to do now is we're going to come to device right here. If you see my mouse points over to the left, and we're click on device, and we're going to come down here and you'll see storage management. Let's click that and see where we go. So here we have a look at my storage management. You'll see that I have 70.3 gigabits in use, and I have just under 60 gigabits available. Now, my files that are on my local drive here, these are my files, and I haven't really purged them or done very much since I've got my Chromebook, and I've had this Chromebook for about 5 years now, and there are 10.5 gigabytes of files. If you look at my browsing data that's in my browser, it's 6.5 gigabits. I have apps and extensions just under 15 gigabits. And Linux, of course, which I run on this Chromebook as well, takes up about 7 gigabits. And this is part of the reason I've told you in the last video that I wouldn't recommend installing Linux unless you plan on using it, because it's just going to take up a lot of storage space. And of course, the system storage is 31.6 gigabits. Now, I do not have an external storage in this computer, but if you do, and most Chromebooks will have an SD card port where you can add an external drive or an SD card. These come in really quite large storage capacity now, and it's very, very cheap to add extra storage. And if you click here, you'll see what your external drive has, but I don't have any. And that's how you see what your Chromebook currently has and is using. There we go, Huey.
Wow. That's a lot of
So-
information.
Yeah, lots of information for you there. And all the slides, what I was showing you and Chris is all those in the slides were all done through Canva's AI. Cool. Questions? Do you want to unspotlight us, Huey? I think we're both still.
Yeah, let me figure out how to do that. Remove spotlight, and I'll remove mine. Next. I
And
can
then we
figure
can
out
see-
how to do that. There it is. There we go.
There we go. Now we got everyone back. You can see everybody. All right.
And if you don't see everybody on the, what you want to do is find the view, which usually on the top right, and change it to gallery.
All right. If anyone has any questions, if you want to put your hand up, just if you go down to the bottom, you should see under reactions, just click that and put your hand up. You'll come up to the top of the screen, or you can wave or yell or whatever you want to do, and you come up and ask any questions. Drew, go ahead.
I have tested out briefly that graphic editing program you had mentioned. Was it Snapshare?
Snapseed?
Snapseed. That runs on Windows 11 under the Windows Android subsystem, so you can do full screen editing there as well.
Good to know.
Okay, I'm not quite sure. How do you said it, the Android subsystem?
Yeah, Windows 11 supports Android software
Oh, really?
through a virtual Android environment called the Android subsystem for Windows. You may have heard of the Linux subsystem for Windows.
Yeah.
That exists on Windows 10 and 11. Windows 11 has now also, in addition to that, full Android app support.
Really?
Yeah, I try to make
How
it
come
work.
we didn't know about this?
I tried to make it work when it first was released, and I couldn't make it work, and I've never gone back to it. So I'll have to try it again.
Yeah, that's a good one, Drew. I didn't know that. That's really good information.
When Windows 11 first shipped, and it was brand new, the Android subsystem was still under development. You needed to actually have the preview edition or the beta edition installed to get that working. And then about 6 months later, they rolled it into the product. So everybody that has a current version of Windows 11 can run Android software.
Very cool. I didn't know that. Thank you so much. Go ahead, Jolyn.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you
Yes.
perfectly.
Good. That's all I needed to know. I wanted to make sure that I was in because I had trouble getting in earlier with the audio. So
Yeah.
good. Excellent. Thank you.
Excellent. So in the early days of Google Photos, the ability to edit and change your photographs was really limited. And of course, Snapseed was so important to use. And Chris Gould has done so many excellent videos about Snapseed, and Geeks on Tour is just great. If you haven't seen their website and you haven't subscribed, I would certainly recommend you see their channel and subscribe. But I guess as Google Photos has matured, and there's quite a lot of video editing now you can do in Google Photos, probably still not the same extent as Snapseed, but it is a great free software that you can use. Go ahead, Bill.
Yes, has anybody figured out a way to put the transcript or the chat in the second desktop or third desktop?
Oh, so
I
it's not
don't-
using your main screen. I don't think so.
Oh,
Okay.
Sorry, don't know how to do that.
Well, I mean, you can pop out the chat
Oh,
and
yes, you
drag
can
it. Pretty
drag it.
much. You
Drag
can
it.
pop out the chat and drag it. You should be able to drag it to a second window.
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
I do that all the time.
Or a second screen, excuse me.
And I'm dragging the transcript right now.
Now, well, I'm not on a Windows machine. I've logged in on my Chromebook,
On a
but I
Chromebook,
actually I'm on a Windows machine. Can you do it on a Chromebook?
Let's
Does
see.
can you drag the?
No.
Yeah, I
It
wonder.
stays
Pop it
within the
out.
same conversation.
Yeah, and I wonder if it has to do with the second. Well, you should be able to do a second screen on a Chromebook. I do that all the time. I'm not sure.
Yeah,
Well, I do it on the second screen, but you can't take the transcript or the chat into that.
yeah. On Windows, I put my mouse over the transcript, and it turned into a little hand, and then I just dragged it.
Right. And that's what I was used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know
I'm
if you
doing it
can
right
with,
now.
I don't know if you,
Go ahead.
on a Chromebook?
No, I'm on a PC, and right
Oh,
now
okay.
I can drag it around anywhere on the screen, but I can't drag it to my other screen.
Ah, okay.
Bob, go ahead.
Feedback.
Yes, I have a question. I just loaded some apps like Snapseed on my Flex, and it loaded them, and it said it will be installed soon. When does it get installed? What do I need to do?
If it says installed soon, it's probably the same mistake I made when I created a website many years ago. It means that it doesn't work.
Okay.
It's still in development.
Yeah. Now, just to let everyone know what Bob has done, it just so because Bob, people may not understand exactly what you're talking about, but Flex is the Chrome operating system that you can install on a Windows machine. I guess on any machine you can put Flex on, and it's the operating system of the Chrome OS, but installed not on a Chromebook, right?
That's right.
Correct.
It's on an old Dell laptop.
Right. And Bob did that on an old Dell laptop. I guess for the most part it works, but on some parts then there is some issues with probably running certain apps or doing certain things with Chrome Flex.
Thank you.
I did a video on Chrome Flex.
Right.
It's out there somewhere. And I haven't played with it recently. I haven't done any of the updates, but one of the things that you can't do with Flex is put it on a Chromebook, because
Right.
the Chrome is embedded into the chip that's on the motherboard, and that's what protects you, and why you can't get a virus on a Chromebook is the fact that it is that protected. And so you can't put another operating system on a Chromebook.
Stu, do you have one last question for us?
Yeah, I do. I was wondering about Canva. You mentioned it, Ron.
Mhm.
I'm not familiar with Canva. How do you use it?
Canva is I guess you would call it a graphics program. It's a
Web-based.
web-based, and it's web-based, so you can certainly use it. For those of you, it is a phenomenal program. I am 100% committed to using it, and I use it for all day long now. The easiest way is just to go to Canva, just type in Canva, and it's and you'll go to their site, and they've got lots of demos, or do a YouTube search, and there's lots of videos about Canva. But it is an amazing piece of software. And I used, and Huey uses it, as well as Chris Gould, and people who do, anyone who does a lot of presentation work will use Canva. And what
It allows you to mix graphics and print, right? And titles and things, right?
Very well done too.
Yeah. And it has a massive library of content as well. What they have done recently is, and what I was saying to Chris is that they have brought out a AI included in their software, and it works very well. In other words, it will make presentations for you. And what you saw on my video today, all those background slides that I used were instantly made up for me. And I was able to put them in Camtasia, which of course is my is the software that I use to make the videos, and it dumps them right in. It just puts it right in. So it just saves me hundreds of hours of work. It's so good, but it's very, 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 I just can't, I'm so excited about it. It really makes it very easy to do for presentations, particularly if you're doing a lot of presentations and making a lot of videos.
Yeah, with Canva, there is a free version, but the pro version
of
is
Canva, yeah, and I think the Magic Edit works in as well with the free version.
So Huey, do you use the free or the paid version?
I use the paid version.
Okay.
But the free version is the free version is available. Most of the features on Canva are all available on the free version. It is a very, very good piece of software. And it's all web-based. It's all web-based, so you don't have to really download anything.
Great, thanks.
Okay. All right. Well, it's 12:02. It's for me it is. It's 2 minutes past the hour. Huey, any final comments?
No, I don't know. I learned a lot from you. I hope you learned some things from me.
I did, yeah.
And I hope everybody's learned a lot between the two of us. So I'm glad you made it. And don't forget, the video will be uploaded after it gets edited, and you can watch it again because there was so much information in it.
Yeah.
And I wish everyone luck next month. I won't be here, so Huey,
you'll be missed.
I'm sure you'll have a great program, and I'll catch up with everyone the following month.
Okay.
All right.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.